Hi, good morning, Rachel. It's a beautiful day. This is what I'm looking at. So it's so funny because everyone's like, oh my God, you're obsessed with them. Stop talking about them. And then the other half is like, oh my gosh, are you going to respond? Are you going to apologize? So it's like, I really can't win. And at the end of the day, for me, it's just done and dead and it's fine. Like, if he wants to put it in the title for views, like, I'm not knocking that. I guess my only issue is that Ethan always punches down. My sister got no views on the video. She has like 100,000 views or 100,000 followers here on TikTok, and she deleted it within an hour. And that was his whole like argument of the whole thing, which wasn't even coming from my mouth. It wasn't between me and him or him and another big content creator. It was like a small content creator, and they deleted it and he re-uploaded it and it's still up. And this is what really turned me off from Ethan when we did the bus tour. Like, he was making fun of like the homeless situation in Hollywood and like construction workers getting their lunch from like a truck in Beverly Hills. I don't know, something about it never sat right with me. And I guess that's what I realized through the whole thing, is that Ethan really is like a bully. Like, and that's what I don't like. It's like when you attack down, when you punch down, when you attack smaller creators. Like, I noticed that he does this a lot. You know, my sister deleted that TikTok within an hour. Like, she knew she messed up, whatever. And then he re-uploaded the TikTok and punched down and obviously knew she was getting hate. I don't care if there's a disclaimer on their podcast that gets 1 million views per podcast saying, don't send hate. They know what they're doing. They know that. And the funny thing is like, he was like defending himself as if they're the ones getting hate. Like, I'm the one getting all the hate. My sister's the one getting all the hate. And I'm fine with getting it. But like, again, she deleted it. She wanted it to be done. And not only did he re-upload on his TikTok, which has over 1 million followers, but they re-uploaded to a podcast that has over 1 million followers when she only had 100,000 and she deleted it. So what more do they want? And there wasn't any lies in that video. It wasn't the point of anything, and I think she realized that, and it's not anything I was upset about. And the point was him talking about SA to my mom and sister, which it really was a messed up thing to say to my family. And that's the thing. He is just as bad as I am. Everyone, sees me in one way. He's the exact same way. His crossing line was being like, oh, I'm correcting my own pronouns. They crossed the lines by posting private text messages. He did that in the video a day later. Like, he's literally no better than me. He made it the title of the show yesterday when it wasn't about Why Frenemies Ended. It was about my sister's TikTok. It had nothing to do with me. I never said any of that stuff she said. I didn't co-sign it. And even now, like 10 minutes ago, posting stuff about the 5%. And if y'all knew how much that 5% was, like, you wouldn't be laughing. And I pray that the staff really did get their raises, because the 5% was for the staff raise. He's like, I want to give them a little extra than what they were already getting paid from H3 when Frenemies started. So I hope they each got at least $10,000 a month raise. Like, I really hope they do. And then, of course, he glazes over getting 100% of the highlights, which is 40 million views. So let's just say, right, just for fun, let's say I said I wanted all the crew fired, right? Which is crazy, because I literally said I was going to come to him the next day. So what? Let's just say I did want them all fired. Like, what kind of person goes to the employees to tell them that? Like, oh, this person wants you fired. They had a staff meeting because they say, they're like a family, and they all value each other's opinion. And then why wasn't I there if I was considered part of the staff? But it was just lies from the beginning, and it was weird. They also keep saying that I wouldn't come back unless Dan was fired, which is like insane. Like, he can show a receipt of me saying I saw a movie that I was just like hyping him up for, but he can't show a receipt of that. I was like, when did I ever say that? He has shown text messages, so he's not above that. And in our text messages, he's like, are you down to shoot tomorrow? I spent $5,000 on it. And I was like, yes, I'm totally down, of course. And then a couple hours later, he tells me not to come. Like, that's the issue. And they're all like deflecting it, whatever. But Ethan's a shit boss. Exactly this. He thinks he also gets like exempted from any of his poor past behavior. Like, he has just as many skeletons in the closet, just as many bad things. He was like just as bad of a person as I was. Like, and he can change, but like, I can't. But like, yeah, the initial video, I'd never even mentioned him ever. And the initial video was just saying that I look like a corpse and people look like beach whales and Twinkies. Like, just going after, people, like, for their look. Like, he is that. Like, he went in on my sister's spicy accountant work and stuff like that on his podcast. Like, and the thing is, that video's still up. Like, the first one where he like made fun of like the way I looked and stuff is still up. Like, all my videos that I've like offended people, I've taken down. Stuff about transgender, DID, all that stuff I've taken down because like I'm truly remorseful. It's truly embarrassing, but he's not embarrassed by it. It's still up on the H3 channel. So, and that's what it was. And now I'm defending her because she did delete it. He's done now a TikTok and a podcast that'll like live on forever on the internet about it. I don't know what more they want from her. you know, what he said about my SA to them, like, yes, I make light and I talk about it on the podcast and stuff like that, but that's something my sister really didn't know much about my life, and it's something that actually, like, doesn't make her feel good. She gets more, I wouldn't say embarrassed about that stuff, but she's a lot more, like, protective of that, like, not wanting people to know, like, that's what I did and stuff. And I get it, and most of my family doesn't. Who does want to know that? Even Moses, he probably doesn't prefer that I talk about that stuff, because it's not something to talk about. But it's like, he made his TikTok, he made his point, he re-uploaded it. Did he really need to, like, punch down on his podcast with where they have 3 million subscribers when she only has like 100,000? Like, I just, like, that's the only reason I'm saying something is like my sister, and it's like, that's shitty. That's really shitty. If we want to talk about semantics, let's talk about semantics. But here's my disclaimer that, like, none of this really mattered to me, and it really didn't matter to my family. My sister was PO'd, and she was upset about all the things. She was trying to defend me, and there was no lies detected, let me tell you. So every year for my birthday, my mom has always taken me on a Disneyland trip. This year, my sister pitched in for the VIP experience. Now, the VIP experience does include up to 10 people. However, you do have to pay still for each individual's tickets. So that's what she was saying when she paid for them. Again, we invited them. We graciously wanted to come. That was my impression. That's her impression too. She obviously, like, got upset and just threw that in there. Ethan offered Moses money, I guess, for the tickets, but never my sister. And my sister's the one that paid for it. Moses did pay for the bus and my party and all that stuff like that, but my sister's the one that paid for it, so she didn't know any of that. You do have to pay for each individual ticket. You do get a group VIP, but you can call them right now. Call the VIP right now. You do have to pay for each individual ticket on top of the VIP fee. And as far as my birthday dinner, I paid for it. No one was begging to do it. I asked Moses. I, like, reached over to be like, can you give me my purse? Like, there was no begging. It was a TikTok. And you know what? He's allowed to respond to a TikTok. Of course he is, yes. But, like, putting it on a platform like the H3, where it's like, obviously we're the ones getting all the hate right now. And it's a lot of hate, and they know that. And they're not even getting it. And they're trying to, like, defend themselves as if they're, like, a victim or something like that. Like, people are giving them hate for it. They're not. No one's, like, on our side. But to put it on that platform where it's obviously just people, like, hating on us, and, like, my sister had it deleted right away, like, that to me just felt kind of weird. It's like, you've done TikToks on it. Like, what more do you want? Like, you know? And now I'm over here, like, arguing, like, the facts of that, which it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I don't care that I paid for dinner. Like, I don't care. It didn't come out of my mouth. Like, whatever. So why is he trying so hard to prove, like, I begged to pay for it? It's like, it wasn't a beg. It was like, he's like, I'll split it. My sister's like, I'll pay for it. He's like, I'll pay for it. He's like, we'll split it. I think it's uncomfortable when people split things. That's just how I am. I've never had anyone split things. I always just pay for it. So I paid for it. I was like, Moses, give me my credit card. I'm going to pay for it. That's it. I care so much that I'm leaving literally everybody out of it, including Gila. And I also say, for the record, like, I love Gila. I respect Gila more than literally anybody. Like, I am thankful that she has forgiven me for my, you know, wrongdoings to her, my calling her names in the past. Like, I'm so forever grateful. She's always been so nice, like, overly nice and gracious and grateful. I've said this, and I will continue to say this. It's literally between me and Ethan. Him lying to the staff, him going to the staff and making up bullshit. Like, that is my issue. I'm not getting anyone's family involved. Like, he's talking to Moses, and they're having back and forth. He's liking TikToks and tweets about me and Moses's past lows in our relationship. Like, what's crazy to me is now that Frenemies is over, he wants to paint me as, like, this monster. Like, brings up all the stuff from, like, 6 months ago, you know, everything from the past that he said he's forgiven me for, including my relationship with Moses. And now that it's over, it's like, actually, she is harmful. She is dangerous to Moses. Like, the thing is he's not involved with this, and neither was my sister. It's why she deleted the TikTok. Like, no one else is involved with this except for, as far as I'm concerned, me and Ethan. Like, my issue is how Ethan was on the show. His issue was with how I was on the show. Like, it's literally between me and Ethan, but he's trying to bring every single other person into it from that night, from that moment. He tried to blame it on Sam. That was Sam's segment that you made fun of, and Ian's mad about it, and they don't want to film with you tomorrow. Like, he put everything on them, when in reality, like, that was all bullshit, and it was really Ethan's problem with me and my problem with Ethan. So again, it's between me and Ethan. So to have all these other people chime in, it's really not fair. You know, Moses is my partner. We are one. We're a team. We're a unit. But, like, I don't expect him to be like, speak up, say something, because it's just not his. It doesn't involve him. And same thing. I don't ever want to mention Hila because, like, I love her, and as far as I'm concerned, like, it has nothing to do with her in a very respectful way. Like, you know, she's not there for frenemies. You know, she's running her business, and probably with contracts. In his first video response to me, he brings up the name calling that I did to him and Gila, and it was awful. I've apologized so many times. It's always awful. I'm never gonna, like, excuse that behavior. That was, like, so gross. Okay, but, like, they went back to work with me Ethan went back to work with me the next Monday, right? They both had said it's forgiven and we can move forward. Continues working with me and making money for the next 6 months. Calls me his bestie, praises my relationship with Moses, like all really great stuff. Like it really meant a lot. But within 48 hours of me quitting Frenemies, he does this piece bringing up all that stuff to paint me as a monster. If you forgive someone and continue working with them, like you don't bring that stuff up. But because it all ended, now he's bringing it up to be like, don't forget Trish did this. I don't think it's fair. Once again, people just not knowing anything, and Ethan did leave this out of all his videos, so let me just reiterate. He gets 100% of highlights. Highlights has over 40 million views. Highlights probably made just as much as Frenemies, and he gets 100%. I haven't gotten $1 from that. That was for production costs, which production costs were just the set and new cameras. Those were the production costs, and I guess 2 outings, because obviously we know Disneyland wasn't paid for by Frenemies. Doesn't matter, but 2 outings. So 5% wasn't for production costs. It was for the bonuses to the staff. So that's to clarify. And people say I'm a higher talent. There was literally no contract that says I'm the producer, you're the talent. It was always like, we're 50-50 in this. That was how it was always presented. So it's funny, people think they know everything about the contract when there wasn't a contract. I agree with this. She agrees with it because she deleted the TikTok within an hour. And an hour after she deleted, Ethan uploaded it and it's still on his TikTok. And he talked about it on the podcast. Like, that's what I'm saying. Podcast yesterday. Like, that happened on Tuesday and she like deleted it. Like, I totally agree with this. But it's just like, okay, you're going to keep dragging that. You're going to make it the title, Why Frenemies Ended, and only talk about my sister's TikTok and her, adult work that she does. Like, crazy. Again, everyone just not getting it right. I went public because Dan on Discord said that it wasn't Sam's idea. I don't know where Trish got that from. That came from Dan on Discord that night because I said it in my video. Dan also said that the crew were willing to film with me. He has no idea where I got that from. No one told her that. That's why I showed the text messages from Ethan, because where did I hear this from? Your boss. And if they had these big staff meetings and everyone was so close, like, Dan should have known this. Everyone should know this. And clearly there was lies. There was lies being told that I wanted them fired. There was lies being told that Ian's upset with me and Sam was upset because it was her segment, when Dan himself confirmed that it wasn't, and he has no idea where it got it from. That's why I showed the receipts. I understand why Ethan showed his, but like, let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted why I showed it. It wasn't just like, let me put him on blast. It was like, no, he lied. This is where I got him. Like, it was verbatim. Dan's like, it wasn't Sam's idea. Don't know where she got that from. Ethan, it was Sam's idea and Ian's upset. This is where you're wrong. He's calling Moses delusional, and he's saying that he's telling Moses that I tried to ruin his life last year and all this stuff that's like really irrelevant, and bringing it up now to him in private text messages. And that's not cool. That's just not cool. That's what I'm talking about when he's trying to use the past and trying to like villainize me with it, like stuff that everyone got past, including me and Moses. Only me and Moses matter at this point when it comes to that stuff. And saying like, she tried to ruin your life. You're delusional if you believe this, that kind of stuff. I'm like, that's not cool. Before anyone's like, oh, that's between family messages, me and Moses are family. We are family. We are the unit. We are family. And I love his family. I encourage it. I don't have nothing bad to say about his family. Again, once again, between me and Ethan, like that's it. Like everything else just doesn't matter. Like it's just all deflection. All his TikToks and memes and the whole show had a whole segment of the 5%. Like they're just trying to make a mockery of it because Ethan lies. He lied to his staff, and now they're making a mockery of it. And I mean, I called it out, so I have no regrets. Everyone's like, apologize, Ethan. I'm like, oh, thank you, I'm good. This might be the most offensive thing people are saying right now. It actually really hurts and really disgusts me on a lot of levels. So let me just talk about this, I guess. I'm so happy for them, and I know that they've struggled with it. We talk about it all the time, like privately. Like I was just so happy and relief when they got pregnant, because I was like, eventually we want to use doctors to get pregnant as well. Like it's amazing. It's a miracle. I was happy. I am happy. Like the recycled content was in regards to an exact Keemstar segment. They took the exact same segment, a 40-minute segment from the previous H3, and did it again on Frenemies, like word for word, video for video. That's what I was talking about, recycled content. As far as the pregnancy title, you can't understand this unless you yourself have gone through like infertility issues and birth struggles. Clickbaiting at pregnancy announcement, not Ethan's pregnancy, Ela's pregnancy, like specifying whose pregnancy announcement, it like just really hurt, because chances are I probably will never get my own pregnancy announcement, and it hypes people up thinking it could be my pregnancy announcement, and when it's not, it's like just a disappointment. He's always put names in the title. I don't know why he didn't this time. Not the same at all. Ethan can punch back at me all he wants, whatever. anyone can. I'm on the internet and it's what I do. So I don't expect people to be like, can't say anything back to me. Like, it's fine. I welcome it. It's fine. But punching down means going for someone who has like way less followers than you and knowing you have such a strong fan base. It's like me when there's channels that like hate me, right? That have like 100,000, subscribers or something like that. And if I just do an attack video on them, like it really is just punching down. Like they don't have the support and the fan base that I have. It's obviously going to send hate towards their way because I know my fan base is loyal, and it's just inciting hate for really no reason other than like I'm mad about something someone said. He's glazing over it because it's just not true. It's just not true. And they're even texting Moses like, she said she wasn't going to come back unless Dan was fired. Dan was my favorite towards the end. Obviously, at the beginning, he didn't want me on. Obviously, we had issues at the beginning. Not issues, but just like, he wasn't a big fan of mine. I wasn't a big fan of him, like beginning, like the first H3 podcast, right? But I like loved him. I like texted him for his address for my wedding. Like I said that I was like, I'm inviting Dan. And then, I remember on the show, Ethan being like, oh, are you inviting everybody? And I was like, well, I don't know everybody. Like I know Dan because Dan is there consistently. Dan has always been nice and respectful. He encourages me. He hypes me up. He laughs at my jokes and stuff like that. Like, so that to me is like the weirdest one. And they don't talk about it because I've never even hinted at that or said that like ever. The only time I ever talked to him about stuff was after he said that they thought I was being rude to them, and I got triggered and I was like, what? But so bullshit. So then it's just extremely fake and hypocritical. I mean, that's what has to boil down to him being fake, because if he's tweeting all this stuff that we're besties, that we're best friends, that I'm just this great person and he's so lucky to have me in the family and all this stuff, which is really nice, again, really amazing to hear, then it really is just for money, like what this whole thing started over, which is, if that's the case, which it would be sad, because for me, it really wasn't about the money. Like, I even offered after everything, he's like, hey, I'm going to be screwed with this merch. I'm like, I will promote it. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt it, but I'm like, I will promote it and I will take $0. That offer still stands. I would still promote it. I don't want any money. I was surprised. Even on the show, I was surprised that he was going to give me money for the merch. He's like, yeah, we're going to give you a cut. And I was like, oh my God. Like, to me, that was nice. To me, that was a thing that I wasn't expecting and was never even discussed. And I was grateful for it. But to be a supporter and vouch for me and say, Trisha has changed, Trisha is this, and then still have that resentment, then that's just fake and hypocritical and sad. Okay, I'm gonna end this. I should just have made a video. I'm sorry that I don't have a crew and a staff and a highly produced podcast to get all my thoughts together in one video, and instead it's these messy TikToks. For that, I do apologize. This is how I've always done things. It's what I do. It's what I am. I don't know. I can't change. But to say I wasn't gonna come back unless the crew was all fired is a complete lie. That's where this all started. This is a lie. I was literally down to film. He sent me the address for the next day. I said, I'm down. A couple hours later, he said, the crew doesn't want to film with you. Cool. My sister deleted the TikTok and she's hiding from the internet right now. She feels stupid and embarrassed. And obviously yesterday's podcast didn't help that, because just incited more people to hate on her. She shouldn't have gotten involved. It doesn't matter. I don't want anyone involved, including Moses. Everyone's like, Moses should say something. I don't want him involved. Moses would say something if I asked him to, but like, it's really between no one but me and Ethan. He's dragging it out. He's dragging other people into it that weren't there. He's dragging like the employees through it. He's enjoying it. He's making skits about it. He's dragging it out. That's totally fine. But don't act like he's so above me and he wants to let it go.